Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ariah Jay podcast. How's it going, everybody? I'm here with...
It's me, Jay Wilson, and this time I charged my camera.
Yeah, so we have the camera for probably the whole thing.
Hopefully the whole thing. If it doesn't, then that's an issue.
Indeed. So, how have you been? I know there's a couple things I want to ask you about that you've since the past week. But just overall, how have you been?
Overall, I've been pretty good. I mean, nothing's perfect, but it probably never will be. I bought these the other night, which was really nice. What the fuck else is there? I've been running around doing stuff. I'm trying to free up my schedule best I can. You know.
Mm-hmm. I remember you talking about how you were going to see a friend of yours last Sunday. Did that happen?
Sorry. No. I attempted. I drove like 2 hours out to go see this friend, and you know what happened? You'll never guess the thing that happened.
Oh no, what happened?
So this person decided, hey, she was like, hey, I'm gonna ride with this friend of mine because this friend of mine can drive, right?
Okay.
So they drove out. They got to the exit to get to the city that we were meeting in, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a wreck. I can't really do like I guess would be a better sound noise for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I drove 2 hours out. I was sitting there at the mall where we decided we were going to meet, right? And they were like, yo, we're about like 10 minutes off. And I'm like, that's dope. So I'm like showing them my car, sitting there like scrolling through TikTok because, you know, I'm a boring motherfucker. And they send me a text and they're like, hey, so we just got in a wreck. And you know, like, I was trying really hard. You know, I was sitting there like, they're playing like a cruel joke on me, right? Like obviously I was acting like very like scared because I was genuinely like freaked out, but I was hoping like in the back of my mind like hopefully this is like a joke, right? But no, they start sending me pictures of the cars, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to the hospital, and I'm like, uh-oh, that's really not good. So they got picked up by their dad, went to a hospital. They were put on meds, and I think they're better now. They didn't break anything, but it was not a good situation.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. That's horrible.
It's okay.
I'm glad they seem to be okay.
Yeah, they're okay. They text me every day, so I don't think that there's anything.
Okay.
I don't think it's a thing where like I'm not like sitting here extremely worried. I check in on them every day.
Yeah.
And they seem okay. But that definitely did freak me out. I was down there, and thankfully I know people down there, so I just went to a buddy of mine's dorm and went and played VR for a while to keep my mind off it.
That's good.
VR is very weird. It makes you very sick, especially whenever you're playing things like, you know, like the it's like some sword game that I was playing. I don't
Beat
remember
Saber.
exactly. It wasn't I was playing Beat Saber there for a while. And they had a Living Tombstone song on it. It was great.
I love Beat Saber.
But there was actually like a medieval game with like magic and shit. I don't remember what it was called. Huh. It was like Blade and Sorcery. Blade and Sorcery. That's what it was. Blade and Sorcery. It's a really cool game. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, that was an awful start to the week with Sunday driving all the way out.
Gosh, and I'm sorry.
It's not the end of the world. I didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, well, you know, hopefully you guys can meet up again at some actually properly at some point.
Yeah, they're functioning now. They were in a lot of pain that day, but they got put on meds and they're able to get in cars now, which is nice. Because they had like a freak out moment where they felt like they couldn't get into a car again, because that's like the worst crash. Because like they were explaining it to me and they're like like their life flashed, which is like that's something terrifying. I've never had my life flash before.
Yeah.
They like that's something like you see in like movies and shit, you know, like it doesn't feel like something that like actually happens. But, you know,
that's
that kind of freaks me out. Yeah, definitely crazy. You know, my luck's fucking... I live in a fucking movie, man. I don't know what it is, but I live in a fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's all in my head. Sorry.
Gosh, I have done practically nothing since the last time we recorded
sounds like a great
this podcast. We've together we've been recording more Deltarune, chipping away at that. The Homestuck Epilogues has officially concluded as of recording this.
That's pretty sad. I mean, it's cool, but it's kind of sad.
If you guys see this on Patreon, then this coming Wednesday, we're putting out another
DLC.
DLC. Mm-hmm. If you're watching this on YouTube, then it's out already.
Go check out the DLC.
We're kind of speeding towards 413 in the second anniversary of our channel, which is crazy, because that's the point where we stop knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
And then depending on how much Deltarune we have and what we're doing,
we'll probably be finished by then, especially with my schedule freeing up. I'm sure that we'll have time. Tonight was just kind of an awkward night because I was out doing a bunch of stuff and I got abandoned taking people home. So I originally
someone
else was there helping me take people home, but they were like, "Yo, by the way," and then they were just gone. And it took an extra hour and a half from what I was originally supposed to get home.
It's okay. I mean, it's like we're recording this.
Fuck gas prices, by the way.
Oh my god, how bad are they down there?
It's $4.19.
Oh yeah, that's how it is up here as well.
It's bad. Stupid dinner club.
Dinner club. Why are people calling it a dinner club? Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm saying. I only accidentally called it. Said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to," and then someone else got into a call and just sat there, and I was very confused.
The dinner club is one of our Discord.
It's like the Breakfast Club, except we're better, you know. But this week's been really. It's been a big week. Been doing a lot this week. I feel like I say that every week, but it feels like every week I'm doing a lot.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's coming down a little bit. Hopefully you won't have to do as much moving forward. Considering.
Where did this week start? Obviously, the week started with that. I hung out with a buddy. I met my buddy's roommate, and my buddy's roommate's fucking dope. He seemed really nice, and I talked to him a lot. My buddy had actually shown some of our videos to him. And showed that stupid commentary video that got made off. And I was just like, why would you show off that stupid guy's content? And he was like, because it was funny. And I was like, fuck you. But I thought that was really funny. They're like, I hadn't laughed that hard in a long time, and I was like, fuck you. But after that, what happened? Fucking Monday was really uneventful with a lot of school, and then Tuesday was really uneventful, had play practice after school. Wednesday, I had a drumline thing and a play thing. Like, with drumline, we were playing cadences, which cadences are just pretty much just drum stuff, specifically. I know for some people who are just like duh, but other people who don't understand all that stuff, it's just pretty much just the drum line playing their own stuff, and it's really hype stuff where usually the crowd has cheers for it and shit. It's really awesome, and I love doing stuff like that. It makes me really happy. It's I think that's the last time I'm going to be playing cadences like that, which is really weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But there was that, and also we did a little preview of the show that I was working on. I'll get to that. But it was we're all in this together, which is the big ending to the fucking show. And I had an alright time with it. I apparently, according to other people, I looked fucking dead while I was doing it, which I was. I was very tired.
Makes sense.
And then the day after that, on Thursday, I had my last big band competition at MPA. I'm not sure what MPA stands for, but it stands for something. It's musical performance, blah blah blah.
Performing arts.
I'm sure it's some dumb shit like that. I don't pay attention to acronyms. Mm-hmm. But we went to my last MPA, and it's weird because that's only my second MPA of high school because obviously COVID. Because my freshman year we went, sophomore year, halfway through sophomore years whenever fucking the world shut down, and last year we didn't go because I don't think they ran it last year. But this was my second and last one. But we walked away with the highest marks. We got fucking superiors all around, and I was like, this is fire. This is amazing. We went out with a bang. I was really happy about it. I'm really proud of all the kids and all the work that they put in, and I know that makes me sound like I'm a fucking teacher. I really don't mean to. I just I don't know. I love watching all the work that we put in actually mean something. It makes me really happy. I'm just a big music guy, so music stuff like that makes me really happy. And the ride there and back was really nice. On the ride back, I got to sit there with my friend Carly, and we just sat there with our headphones and listening to stuff like Mother and stuff. Mother are great.
Mother's good.
like I've not fucked with as much of their stuff as I really need to, but their stuff's really great.
Yeah, I've heard the few songs I've heard by them. I liked a lot. They're on my list, my ever-growing and large list of artists I need to listen to more music from. But
yeah, I've been listening to a lot of people. But yeah, that was really cool. It made me really happy whenever that happened. But then yesterday came, and yesterday I was fucking dead. But after all that, like, and all this practice stuff with the play and everything, I was sitting in a call last night with Ariah and Harmonics, you know, as you do. I was sitting there.
We were about to record some Deltarune.
We were about to record some Deltarune, you know. I'm almost done with Deltarune Chapter 2, which is kind of weird to say because we're at the fight, if you know what that is, if you don't figure
Spoilers.
it out. You can be like the fight if you really need to.
Yeah. I mean, doing that they'll know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm to like the big fight of Chapter 2, because in Chapter 1 there's a big fight, and in Chapter 2 there's
secret
also
boss.
a big fight. Yeah, exactly. The secret boss. That's where I am. But before we started recording last night, I sat there and I was just ranting and raving about how awful the play was and how much I didn't want to do it. And every time I made a point on why I should stay, Orion N came up with a counterpoint that was way better than my previous point. And I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, we convinced him to jump off of it and take care of himself.
We crafted an email and sent it out, and I haven't heard anything back yet. If I don't come back next week, I've been shot by a theater teacher.
Oh no.
Oh no. But honestly, way better decision for my mental health. My mental health's been kind of declining, and it's not entirely the play's fault, but the play's definitely not helping.
Yeah, it's just a combination of a busy schedule and also having to do something like the play that is something you don't want to do. Like, from the sounds of it, you really are enjoying band. Like, band is something that you're having a lot of fun with.
Band's lovely, and I love band to death. The play was fucking miserable, and I was expressing that sentiment to all the people in my life, and all the people in my life agreed with me on definitely getting out while I still could. It's like 3 weeks off. I think they probably have enough time. Some people think that's the nail in the coffin, and they just won't do it. If they just don't do it, that's not my fault.
Honestly, I kind of hope that people follow in your footsteps and quit.
It could happen. For some reason, I don't know what happens, but I turn into fucking morale boost for just everything.
Yeah. I mean, Jay has told me that apparently this play is run horribly. There's no understudy.
Yeah.
The director's a bitch, apparently.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work on it. Everybody is miserable.
Enjoying themselves. This is entirely just a horrible situation for all people involved, you know? But yeah, I'm out. No more Troy Bolton. No more.
There just won't be Troy. Troy has been cut from the musical.
It'd be really fucking funny if they ran it without Troy Bolton. Like, if they had like a backing track doing all the Troy Bolton stuff. I honestly hope that's what's happening. I'm really an asshole, but I think that'd be really funny. But you know, and then today I kind of worried about that because I'm worried I'm gonna get jumped for it on Monday, which I might, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like it's gonna tank my grades. You can't fail me over a fucking play. I'm almost done with high school anyway. It's not like it's like my sophomore year. It's my fucking senior year. I'm fucking done here, which is kind of weird to think about still. But I got all the way through that, and I decided, fuck it, I'm done, because all the people in my life decided I needed to be done, so I said I was done. I've sent not even that long an email, just a regular sized email. It was just like, hey, my health is deteriorating in all faculties, and I'm sorry to do this, but I'm done.
Yep, I'm really proud of him. You're I'm really glad. I'm really
Jay Wilson's doing stuff for himself for once in his life. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Oh shit. This has become very me-centric very fast.
Yeah, we were telling the story of how your week's been going, which you always have more interesting stories than me on that front, because I've done nothing this week.
I just like find things to do, you know. Like I decide I'm gonna go do this, and they're like, but why? And I'm like, because it's a better story, because I have people to go talk to on the internet every week, you know. And if I sit there and I don't do anything, then what am I supposed to say on the podcast? Yeah, I sat in bed and cried. No, that was after 2:00 in the morning.
Look for things to do throughout the week so that we can talk about them on the podcast.
That's what I'm saying. If I fuck up my life hard enough, I'm gonna have plenty of things to talk about.
It's fair enough. I mean, the main thing I've been doing is I've been doing some script writing for an audio drama that I've been working on and off on for a couple of years now, and I've still have very little content there. I love that. Well, see, now that we started this podcast and I know how to distribute it and stuff, it made me I want to revisit my audio drama stuff, right? Because
that's sick.
That's a kind of production that I could probably do because I could write it myself, and then I could get my friends to voice act a character, you know, and then I could edit it all together, and then I can have a show that I can put on like podcast apps and stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's
so that's something that I want to work on because I've developed an idea with one of my good friends a couple of years ago, 4 years ago now, and I've just kind of had like episode 1 script on my computer for a very long time, so I've just kind of revising that and starting on other episodes and stuff, and it's a cool project. I am probably going to get bored of it before I actually finish it, unfortunately, because that's just how I am. I guess, have you ever heard of something called nootropics?
No idea.
I also have no idea what they are. Nootropics is apparently a class of substances that can boost brain performance, according to Google, right? They're FDA approved, like, over-the-counter drug things that are, like...
Drugs?
Good for...
You had me at drugs.
that are, like, good for, like, cognitive stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was doing a little research because I got a targeted ad for them, and I took their little survey and all that, and they were like, look, we can prescribe. We can send you this, this, and this, and this. And it's like, this is supposed to help with motivation. This is supposed to help with brain fog. This is supposed to help with all these things that I struggle with. You know, I am super, like executive dysfunction. I'm super getting bored of things and moving on quickly, or of just having no motivation to do anything and sitting in bed. I'm tired all the time. I struggle with this so much. And then like all of the questions that they asked me in the survey for that website was like, do you have trouble finishing things on time? and like things like that. Everything that they asked me, I was like, well, that's a negative answer, you know, like, so I guess I'm their target demographic, but I ordered some of those. So they're in the mail, and I'm excited to try them because apparently they work for a lot of people, and they have a money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for me, I can get my money back. So it seems like a win-win. So I'm gonna try those pretty soon when that gets here, and hopefully that helps me be more productive and do things that I want to do.
I love that
because I've got so many projects. The other thing that I've been doing that's just kind of like moving my hands and doing things is I've been cataloging all these damn Magic cards.
Fucking Magic the Gathering.
I have so many Magic cards that I've just had for a long time. This binder is my binder.
Magic.
My binder of rares. I've got a couple uncommons on this page because these 6 uncommons are $10 each.
Yeah.
But then everything else in here, these are just all the rares that I own.
Nice. They look almost like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Many sets. Well, they're a little different than Yu-Gi-Oh. They're Magic cards.
Yeah, I can see that there's a difference. It's just like that's the aesthetic I get because I know more about Yu-Gi-Oh than I do of Magic. Not that I really played Yu-Gi-Oh, I just knew a lot more people who played Yu-Gi-Oh than Magic.
That's fair. Then I've also got, look at all these artworks.
Dude, some motherfuckers get into that shit, like going to like all types of tournaments and stuff.
Oh, I know. I'm not very good at the game, so I couldn't do tournaments. But
I'm sure if you played it enough, you could get good enough if you really wanted to.
I don't want to. It's too expensive.
Yeah, it is a very expensive.
I own like all the cards I have are worth like $1,600.
Damn.
Jeez, I dropped it. Okay.
Who
that I've acquired over the years
of Magic the Gathering cards?
Right. There's little bits of cardboard that hold their value at $100,000 a piece. Just get one of those. Black Lotus. But yeah, I've cataloged all of the stuff in the binder is in my catalog online, and most of my uncommons are cataloged, and now I just have to catalog these like 5 heaping piles of commons over there, which is daunting. But once I do that, then I'll have a full total of how much money my collection is worth, and then I can like digitally search for things and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I made a colorless deck. Again, which I think is a really cool idea. It's basically every card in this deck is colorless and
nice.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's the 5 colors of mana. I don't know. Nobody's gonna understand what I'm saying
I'm sure some Magic the Gathering players been in the background like, yeah, it's just not me.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, that's been my physically doing things with my hands thing that I've just been doing while listening to things and such. Getting a lot of coffee. That's been a thing I've been doing.
I still don't drink coffee.
Because I'm tired all the time.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping this whole like lack of play thing's gonna. I think that's gonna remedy a lot of my tiredness. Because I'm not naturally a tired person. It's just whenever I'm exhausted. You know.
Yeah. No, I do know.
Because I don't think naturally I'm very exhausted. Like, usually I'm able to stay up and then, like, if I'm not miserable, like, I'm able to go to sleep and have, like, 2 hours of sleep and the next day be able to be functioning, you know? Like, usually it isn't like this. So I'm hoping, like, this next week or two, it's able to remedy a lot of that.
I think it will.
So anyway, segues are weird. Bo Burnham, am I right, fellas? But I've had this really big thought on my mind, and we haven't talked about this on the podcast. I've been thinking a lot about like partying and like substances lately, because like people that I know have been very much into that sort of stuff, and I thought that'd be something interesting to talk about for a while.
Hell yeah, let's talk about it. I've got things to say. You start.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think substances, and that could be something that could last for a long time, conversation about it. You know, or arguing semantics and such. But you know, I hang out with a lot of people who are older than me and the same age as me, and obviously people like that, especially whenever you grow up in Hickville like me. Everything definitely is very party oriented if you want to be able to do stuff. Like a lot of kids, like, rather, because there's not really that much to do, they end up drinking, smoking, whatever. Dude, I know motherfuckers who do like coke and meth, like crazy shit.
Yeah, all that stuff is way too accessible for high school age kids. Like,
that's what I'm saying, and like especially where I live, because there's not much of anything else to do. A lot of kids
even up where I live.
Yeah, a lot of kids decide they're just gonna run with that, and it pisses me off. I hate the whole party scene. I hate the substances. It's not that I don't think substances are. I don't think anybody who does substances is the worst person in the entire world. I think. Obviously, like everyone talks about, like fucking drug addiction is an epidemic / pandemic. Really, I think the whole world probably suffers from it on some level. Where they just
I agree.
I don't know.
I mean, hard drugs like the whole cocaine and meth thing you mentioned, like that stuff is bad.
Yeah,
that stuff is bad, and you shouldn't touch that stuff. Alcohol is on the bad side. It's dangerous. You know, I've got like a whole bottle of vodka over here, but look at how much I've drinking. I bought this like a month and a half ago. I've also got like some whiskey back here and stuff and some wine. So I mean, I drink. You know, I've got a White Claw today actually, which I might as well. It's a blackberry White Claw. This is basically just a LaCroix with like a little bit of alcohol in it.
Yeah, I know.
Has the same amount
White Claws.
Beer.
White Claws are fucking terrible. Oh my God, you're a white bitch. Oh no, please. No,
I mean,
you're no. Those, I thought that was only college girls. No.
I am a college girl. Okay. So, I mean, like White Claw. I bought it because I recognized it from like the memes of like the whole college thing and all that. Yeah. And I tried it and like, I get it, because this is just a LaCroix with alcohol, right? So it's just a LaCroix meme.
I know. LaCroix.
But it's just the LaCroix meme, right? It's White Claw's a meme because LaCroix's a meme.
It's all about the meme.
But yeah, this is the blackberry one. I think it's pretty good because I already love LaCroix.
I hate LaCroix.
I like all sorts of alcohol. So I'll have a beer, I'll have this, I'll have whiskey, I'll have vodka. Anyways, alcohol is dangerous. I think alcohol... I don't think alcohol should be illegal, but I think alcohol should be a good baseline for other drugs.
It should probably be moderated a lot more.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I think it's moderated quite well. I mean, it's really hard to like lock something off from a demographic, because obviously the U.S. is very good at not selling alcohol to people under 21, but like
they're so good at it.
If you're a kid who knows somebody who's 21 or older, they're gonna probably buy. You can get alcohol. Yeah,
I could make a phone call and I get a 12-pack within 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, and there's not really a way to stop that. There's ways to discourage it with making that illegal and stuff, but there's no way to stop that. I mean, I think alcohol just needs to be less of a don't do alcohol and more of a, hey, if you're going to do alcohol, do it safely,
That's agreed. That's with most not most substances, but with certain substances,
yeah, I mean, me as a parent would probably not, if my kid wanted to go to a party, a high school age party, right? Then I'm going to be like, you know what? It's their choice if they want to drink or not, right? I can't tell them that they're not going to drink. So what I would do instead is I'm going to like, hey, you know what? Is there going to be alcohol at this party? You can tell them. If so, great. You can go to the party. But just know that be careful, okay? Limit how much you have. Only have a drink first. See how you feel. Because you're not going to stop kids from drinking, right? If they want to drink. Absolutely. But if you go into it, obviously I'm not going to buy my kid alcohol, but if you go into it with a, hey, you probably shouldn't, but if you're going to, this is how you do it safely, and kind of educate them that way, and that's going to lead to a little bit better, a better chance of not getting addicted, of not falling into those holes, So I think that's a conversation that you need to have with children, and children with teenagers, with 16 to 20, honestly. Yeah, 16 to 20. And people in general, yeah, even if you're legal, there's plenty of people who are of legal age to drink and are addicts and have problems with it, alcoholics and stuff. But that brings me to marijuana.
I feel like it's a completely different conversation, however.
It's completely different. Because here's the thing. I mean, I'm a big fan of marijuana. I also know that it's important to not overuse it. It's not nearly as dangerous. It's not actually dangerous at all.
It's not addictive. You can't. It's not like you're gonna ruin. Nope. Well, you could ruin your life with it, but it's more your fault than the substance's fault.
Yeah. So while marijuana is not addictive, it's not chemically addictive, but it is but it's habit forming, right? So is everything else, right? Definitely. So while you don't get addicted to marijuana the same way you do to alcohol or to tobacco or to meth, right? Mm-hmm. You can get addicted to it habitually, the same way you can be addicted to social media or addicted to watching television or
it's not
things like that,
chemical thing, but you still are
addicted to work. Yeah, it's just forming a habit that's hard to break rather than chemically addictive, which are two different things. And I do think that there are problems with doing marijuana so much that you're always high, because then you're not really. Because then you're not really experiencing, and from the people that I know who do that, they tend to be a lot less motivated. Yeah, people who get high every day are a lot less motivated.
That's the biggest issue
have
with
lot less dreams for the future and
motivation,
stuff. Yeah. I think it's a lot better used sparingly, or not even sparingly, but just used in moderation. At this point, perhaps every other day I might get high, or I might have half an edible, or I might smoke a blunt or something, because there's nothing else for me to do. Honestly, I would go out and hang out with people instead of that any day if I had the chance, right? Yeah. But I don't really. I kind of just am, going to work, coming home, and watching a show with my partner and stuff, and that's great. But then I'm like, I'm just gonna feel good for a minute and watch some YouTube videos and giggle, and that's and obviously and the cool thing, the thing about marijuana is you can't overdose on it. Mm-hmm. If you quote unquote overdose, or if you green out, or whatever they say, but if you have too much, the worst thing that can happen is you throw up and feel bad for a few hours.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the worst thing that can happen with having too much marijuana, and then it just leaves your system. You're fine.
It's literally impossible. I've looked it up. It's literally impossible, to get enough into your system that you would overdose.
It's literally impossible to die from marijuana. I mean, you could drive while high. Well, you could green out, and green out is kind of like a blackout thing, right? But it's you might death. Throw up, you might be dizzy, and then after a few hours, you've got hangover symptoms, and you're good.
Absolutely.
If you smoke marijuana, get high, and then drive a car, then you might get into an accident, and then you might die. But that's not because of the marijuana; it's because you decided to drive while high, which is illegal. But this is what baffles me about the laws behind this stuff in this country. Because obviously drugs are some drugs are bad, some drugs are good, and some drugs can be good or can be bad, and we've got to talk about it. We've got to make sure people use them properly, Like, while I think it's fine to drink alcohol and it's fine to smoke marijuana, you can still abuse those substances. Substance abuse is very different than substance use,
Yeah.
And that's a conversation we have to have. But I think the fact that alcohol is legal for everyone in this country 21 years of age or older, and possession of marijuana is considered a felony in some states, is a problem. Yeah. Because alcohol can kill you and marijuana cannot kill you. Like, marijuana is up in this schedule. It's a Schedule 1 drug federally. It's just as bad as heroin, and it's just as bad as heroin, according to this country.
Which objectively speaking,
just as much trouble.
True.
Which is stupid. It isn't true. It's so much safer than even alcohol is. Or smoking cigarettes. Because like, even smoking marijuana is healthier for you than smoking cigarettes, because the average marijuana smoker smokes less than the average cigarette smoker. Because when you're addicted to tobacco, you just keep having more and more, and people end up smoking packs a day, and that is really bad for you, smoking packs a day, a whole pack a day.
What's worse is when
someone who smokes marijuana
stuff,
Yeah. And with marijuana, you smoke a lot less, because one blunt will get you high, if not less than that if you have big blunts. So people are smoking half to one cigarette-esque thing. Instead of a whole pack when they do it, so that's just already a lot, and obviously smoking
as much as the other things do.
Yeah, because you do it a lot less, and it's relatively harmless if you don't do it very much. Now, of course, edibles are a more healthy way to ingest marijuana than smoking, etc. But none of these, but it's just so much safer than alcohol. So. Yeah. I don't know. That's what gets me about the whole legality of it in this country. Like, I live in Michigan, and currently in Michigan, alcohol is obviously legal 21 years of age or older, and also marijuana is recreationally legal for anyone 21 years of age or older, including myself. And that's a state. That's some of those states. I heard Virginia recently passed it so it's illegal recreationally, but you can't legally obtain it in Virginia without a green card, because there's no license to sell it recreationally yet, but there will be in the next couple of years. I don't know. But more and more states are doing that. But it's just ridiculous to me that there's places that you will go to prison for years and years for possessing marijuana, when it's so much safer than alcohol, which is legal.
Absolutely.
And it's just concerning to me. And of course, it's a very personal thing. You can choose to not drink alcohol and to not smoke marijuana, to not do drugs in general. You can choose that, and that's a totally valid decision, and more power to you. And it's unrealistic to try to police these substances so much so that, because kids are naturally rebellious, right? They're gonna do things because they can't, right? They're gonna party and have some alcohol or have some weed and stuff like that because they're told they can't. And I think it would be a lot better to, as a parental role rather than like a school or anything, right? But parents should know that if they tell their kids not to drink or not to do drugs, they're gonna drink and do drugs. So instead, they should be like, hey, that party you're going to this weekend, is there gonna be alcohol? If so, it's like, you don't have to tell me, but if so, just be careful with it. Of course, I don't want you to drink, but if you're going to, because I know I'm not going to be able to stop you, this is how you approach that safely, And I think that's very important, because I think that would fix a lot of problems in our in terms of the youth who is addicted to drugs because of getting into them early and not having direction and things like that. So it's a very great topic. There's a lot of things on every side of it.
Absolutely. I have a weird kind of perspective on it all. Obviously, growing up around weed, alcohol, all of it, my entire fucking life, Parents drank. Well, mom didn't drink nearly as much, but but I've been around it, obviously, and I've seen the effects and I've seen what it does. I think, naturally speaking, that I don't really have a problem with weed in general, I don't think there should be a problem with weed. Generally speaking, it seems like it helps more than it hurts. I've never seen like an abusive person who smokes. Like, usually abusive people, even if you're a shitty person whenever you're sober, like, I feel like most people who end up smoking do end up, like, acting a lot nicer and easier on people. They feel, like, a lot more, like, elated and, like, more, like, there. I mean, obviously, like you said, there's ways to abuse stuff like that. But I've seen it, and I think it's a lot better to be smoking than it is to be drinking from what I've seen. I'm not saying that good drunks don't exist, but a good drunk is way easy. It's way harder to find than a good smoker, because good smokers are just there.
Yeah, I mean, they do different things. I mean, like...
Yeah, exactly.
I find it really weird how alcohol affects different people. Like,
yeah.
You know, there are, you know, to the point where in popular culture, people talk about the different kinds of drunks, you know, how, you know, there's the angry drunk, there's the happy drunk, there's, you know, it's like...
Yeah.
It affects people differently. I really think that marijuana works a lot differently. I really feel like everyone on marijuana is just happy. They just laugh a lot. They just, you know, like it just does that.
The worst that happens is like paranoia and stuff whenever you're smoking. That's the worst of it.
Yeah, like I used to get that. I don't really know why paranoia is a symptom. Like I don't know if I just don't get it anymore or what. Look, I definitely smoked some marijuana in high school when it was technically illegal to, with some friends of mine. You know, now I'm of age and all that. And that, you know, we went out to the woods and stuff, and that I did get paranoid from smoking with them in the woods, because I'm like, oh shit, if we get caught, everything's gonna be horrible, right? But now I'm like, I can't get caught, right? This is something I can legally do. You know, I'm totally like this. There's no problem with me doing marijuana right now. It is totally legal, so I'm not paranoid. So I don't really know if it's just like you get paranoid more easily when you're high, but because I had no reason to be paranoid, I wasn't paranoid. I don't really know what that is.
It's all about atmosphere, where you are, and how you feel about if you're going to end up getting caught or something. You're definitely way more susceptible to being paranoid from what I've seen and from the people I've been around. It's far more easy for me to get somebody. I remember I used to hang out with stoners, and every single time, like, I'd walk up to them and act all freaked out and be like, they know, just to freak them the fuck out, because they'd be sitting there fucking bugging for a good, like, 30 minutes afterward, like who, where, like, but especially whenever they first started smoking. Obviously, since I'm saying they were smoking, it's very obvious I'm very much not a substance person. Like, like I said earlier, if I wanted to, I could get my hands on it very easily. I don't have any want for it. I don't have any want for substances. I feel like I like my mind. Like, obviously, like, I don't always like my mind. Who does? But, you know, I don't think I need substances to get my way out of it. I don't feel like that's my way of coping. I don't feel like that's really that healthy of a way to cope, in my opinion. It feels like I've seen a lot of this stuff, and it feels like sometimes people end up partying and doing all that because they're trying to get away from whatever they're feeling, you know? Like,
I totally agree. I think that is an unhealthy habit.
It's an unhealthy habit, and my family has a big, like, thing where it's come down all the way down to me, where every single person above me has ended up abusing some substance or another, you know? That's obviously not going to be me, and I've cracked the joke that it's genetic. It's not genetic. You're just more susceptible to it if you start. I just think it's funnier to say it's genetic. But you know,
would you ever, like, socially try, like, a week edible or something, or nah?
I don't know. I think most of the time I'm probably gonna hit people with a no. I think it'd have to be a very specific circumstance for me to end up even trying. I don't think I like weed would be a lot different than drinking, though. I've only drank.
For sure.
I remember one time I was like in, like, I don't even know, I was in like 7th grade probably, and it was like Thanksgiving or something. No, it was the 4th of July actually, and my mom gave me this glass of wine, and it took me an hour to sip on it to finish it. Like, I would take a sip, put it down for like a good like 10
because you didn't like it, or
take another sip. It just, like, I didn't really get the appeal. I wasn't sitting there like, holy shit, I can get drunk, you know, like, I don't want that. And then obviously, like, later on, like this year, I did in October go to a bonfire, ended up doing like a few shots, and Smirnoff, which is like 5%, and then I don't know how much the shots were. But I really didn't feel that hyped about it either. Like, I didn't understand it. I still don't understand the whole being drunk thing and how much people love that. I was thinking maybe if I tried it, I'd understand I'd understand why so many people do it, you know? Like, I thought, like, I don't know.
I just like the taste of it is the reason, like, that I drink this occasionally. Like, I don't drink beer and White Claw one a day, because I feel drunk from that. You know, one drink barely does anything. I just like the taste of it. The only time I would get more drunk than that and have shots is socially, and that's just because, I don't know, when I'm, like, being an extrovert and interacting with people and talking loudly and all that, it just kind of, like, makes that more, I don't know, it just enhances that something, like it's not a strictly required thing, but it's fun to do sometimes. Like, I went to a party not too long ago where we all had a bunch of alcohol and stuff, and that was really fun because of the social aspect of it. I think marijuana is a little different for me because, like, you know, an edible or, you know, like a joint before bed, like, that actually helps me sleep, which genuinely is something that people prescribe marijuana for, is helping with that. It genuinely helps me sleep, and also it just makes me more relaxed.
Fair.
And, like, I would never try to get work done while I was high. So if I had to do any work, I wouldn't do that. But it was just kind of like a late in the day, I'm ready to chill out in bed and just watch some stuff and go to sleep. That's when I would do it, right? And I think that's just the more relaxing aspect of it. It kind of can take you both ways, because that's what's really interesting about marijuana as opposed to other types of drugs. It's its own class of drug on its own. It's a cannabinoid. While it's not a stimulant, it's not a depressant, it's not any of these things. It can kind of act as multiple things, you know.
Yeah,
it can act as kind of a more depressant, more of a relaxation thing, you know. But if you smoke socially, then you know it can get you elated like alcohol can, and kind of enhance those experiences as well. It's pretty cool. I'm a fan.
I'm not. It's not that like I said, I'm not against marijuana at all. I'm not sitting here like they should legalize every substance, because that's just not how it works. Obviously, drinking can be good in certain situations, and smoking can be good in certain situations, you know. I think smoking and CBD should be legalized in certain places, because, like, I have a niece named, like, my niece, she has epilepsy, and to help with that, they rub, like, cannabis oil on her feet, and that helps her with, it used to help her a lot with seizures. I don't know how she's doing anymore. I really
CBD is so good for seizures and so good for so many things. CBD is such a good medicine.
But I used to, like, my mom, because I used to have really bad anxiety, used to, like, mix CBD and stuff into my stuff. I never really felt like it affected me at all.
CBD does. CBD is just a medical thing, right? THC is the stuff in cannabis that makes you high.
No, but, like, I'm not even saying in a high stance. Like, I don't even feel like mentally it affected me at all. Like, it's meant to, like, calm you down and, like, help you with certain things, but I never really felt that.
I'm not sure about calm you down. I think it's just a medicine, but maybe. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of first-hand research into CBD.
I just remember my mom used to give me this stuff.
Ago, but
she used to give me, like, these drops or, like, every other type of thing that you could do, and she'd be like, this will help with your anxiety. And I was like, it didn't really help at all. It's never really been a thing where any type of substance has really been something that's, like, really helped me with anything.
That makes sense.
I think my sober mind's where it's at, honestly, because honestly, like, I know you're talking about socially and, like doing it, and it, like, enhances everything, but I feel like, generally speaking, whenever I'm around the people that I enjoy being around, like, that's probably the closest to drunk and high that I ever really need to be.
For sure. For sure. I mean, like, it's much more complicated than I'm able to get across.
Yeah, like, I understand that if I did it, I'd understand it on a deeper level.
Well, I mean, not even that. I just, like, when I say it enhances it, like, it's an experience that I enjoy, but not necessarily more than being sober. So, like, like, it's not, like, it enhances it, so every experience that I'm high socially is better than not being high socially. That's not true.
That makes sense.
It's highly subjective, and, like, you know, I like, most of the time I hang out with friends, it's sober, but, like, sometimes, you know, there's a party and, like, we're gonna bring alcohol and it's gonna be a fun night where we're doing that, and that's what we've chosen to do, and that's really fun as well. You know, it's two different experiences.
I definitely understand that.
I can't say one's better, but yeah, I mean, like, there's no need for it. If you don't want to do it, then great.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here like I'm not sitting here with my fucking gavel like all of them, send them to jail. But the thing with substances in general, and the reason that another reason that I don't like doing them and just in general is the people that I'm around. It feels like, especially because I'm the sober one, I turn into the designated driver very fast when it comes to this sort of thing, and I'm really tired of like the whole like babysitting shtick that kind of comes with it. I feel like that's something that's really brought me down when it comes to that sort of stuff. And also, like, I've been in situations where I was sitting there and, like, I was in a really bad state mentally, you know, and I wasn't doing any types of substances, but the other people in the car were. And whenever I try to talk about it, because they're so out of their mind, they just can't hear me. Or they do hear me, and they just can't help, you know. And it's like, I feel like, in my opinion, I like being there the whole time. That way, if there is that situation where that one person isn't like feeling it, then like you can be there for them rather than being like, I'm so like blazed or I'm so drunk that I just can't physically be there for a said person, you know. It's frustrating.
I'm really curious how, like, I'm really like, look, by no means will I ever peer pressure you or say that you should try any of this stuff, but I'm very curious how you would think differently about this if you ever tried it. Because I don't know, for me, like, I think it's weird how some people when they smoke or some people when they drink change or like kind of have different personalities or kind of
not
like,
everybody
say
does,
different shit.
But, like,
no, I know, but like for me,
the vast majority.
For me, like, when I get high or when I get drunk, mentally I'm the same. You know, like, mentally I'm the same. My physical body, I can tell my physical body is you know, like, I'll slur my speech and stuff, but I still have control over what I say, you know. I might have less of a filter, but only marginally so. Like, I might not like, I don't know how to really explain it properly, but like, I'm still there. I'm still present. And I can still talk to somebody and have a meaningful conversation. But like, I don't know. I mean, the other thing is whenever I do it, I make sure that everyone doing it is like going to stay the night where we are. You know, like, I've never had to worry about the whole designated driver thing because I'd be, you know, where I'm, like, you know, like, for example, that party I was talking about where everyone was drinking, like, everyone stayed the night. Everyone stayed over, you know. So there was no worrying about cars, you know. And, like, you know, when I would, you know, I've gotten high with friends in Ann Arbor before, and I'd either stay at their house or they'd stay at my house, or we do it early in the day, and then hours and hours later when we were sober again was the next time that somebody drove, you know. So yeah, I mean, you know, like, I've never had to deal with that stuff. So yeah, like, I will never peer pressure you. I'll never make you do it. If you do not want to do it, great. You should stick with that decision. But I'm certainly curious to see how you would.
Yeah, it's not that I think that people completely and utterly change. I mean, I know some people do. I feel like the vast majority of the people that I know do kind of change whenever they end up doing some type of substance. I'm not sure why that works that way. Whenever I drank that one time, I don't feel like I really changed. I didn't even really feel it. It didn't feel like, probably didn't. I was probably buzzed at the biggest. But, you know, like, obviously people don't exactly change most of the time. But, you know, sure. But I just, like, obviously I'd have a different perspective, and people have all the time been like, you really need to try this, because they just want to see how it affect me, you know?
Oh, don't let anybody peer pressure you, Jay.
No, I'm not being peer pressured. Like, that one time I drank was more peer pressure than anything, was this girl was just begging me. She sat there for a good, like, 20 minutes being like, come on.
That's bad.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I really shouldn't have done that, to be honest with you. But like I said, I got buzzed at the biggest. I could definitely feel it in my legs and stuff whenever I was walking. Like, it didn't feel that, like, it felt different, is all I'll say. That's probably the most that I can say about it. But I've definitely heard a million times over, like, I'd love to smoke with you, I'd love to drink with you, because I really want to see what you'd act like. Because, like, I'm already so erratic and so, like, big and bleh. Like, anyway, like, people just wonder if that would be enhanced, or, like, if I'd change in any way if I wasn't like that. Which, I mean, maybe. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll say fuck it, and I'll be in the right environment, and the right people will be around. And
you'd probably act like me, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd probably be
depending on the context. Depending on the context, you'd either get quieter and become kind of reserved, or be louder and like just amplify your personality. I think that's what it would be.
I think it's more likely to be the second option than the first option. I feel like.
Well, no, I think both of them are how you'd be depending on the situation. That's how I am. It's both are both are options
context.
For me.
It's probably all context. I'm sure that if I ever end up doing it, it's going to be in a situation where it will be the second rather than the first.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. No peer pressure. But if you ever wanted to while you're up here, and I will never push you towards that. But if you ever decide that you'd like to, then I can do it right. We can do it right. But that's totally on you.
I'm just tired of substances and them being things that affect me in my life, because I feel like I've been affected by substances my whole life.
Yeah.
Obviously grew up in a home with alcohol constantly around, like parental figures, drunk. And,
me too.
And high and stuff. It's just a really weird situation, because I always told myself I'd never get into that. And obviously I'd be a lot more moderated than any other parental figure or anything, because obviously I've seen the effects and I can see it can be awful, you know. But I'm not sure if necessarily I'd want to even like do it moderated. Like I feel like I feel like my step I'm doing the biggest step away by being like, no, you know. It's not at all me thinking I'm better than anybody, or me thinking like...
Oh, of course not.
It's not me thinking I have some type of moral high ground for it. It's just me and my morals have always told me to stay away from stuff like that. And maybe one day I'll change my mind, and I'll make sure I'm in a good mindset if I do ever end up changing my mind. Because there was like a week there, like last year or the year before, where I did end up like vaping and stuff. Like I vaped for a good week solid, and then I dropped it. Like, it wasn't even every day either. It was just like I was hanging out with people for that week, and they'd throw it at me. I'd be like, sure, whatever, did it, and then I was like, nope, I'm done at a certain point, and I didn't do it anymore.
That makes sense. Jay, I feel like we're very, very similar, because, like, I mean, I already knew we were very, very similar. We've got the same personality type. But, like, when I was younger, I like it, like, in high school and such, I said I was never going to drink. You know, I've thought about it a lot. You know, I didn't fail at my task or anything. But that was my mindset for a while, because my dad had drinking a lot and still drinks a lot, and and alcohol has negatively impacted my life on many occasions. You know, he got arrested on his way to pick me up from a school dance once. Yeah. Like that was a day. But in general, it's like, you know, him drinking all the time like has negatively affected my life a lot throughout the years. And I guess like I don't remember like exactly why I changed my mind, but I know my current thought process is, while I could just say I'm not gonna drink alcohol, I mean, like, I could do that, right? But I feel like, how do I word this? Okay, here. I'll briefly tangent towards a different topic that's somewhat similar, and then I'm gonna come back. So, children, right? I, for a while when I was younger, I was like, I want some children when I grow up. I knew, I was like, you know, I want children when I grow up. I want a child. I want to be a parent when I'm older, you know. Yeah. And I was very much so wanting that when I was younger. I was like, I definitely do want this when I'm older. Now I'm more of a I could take it or leave it thing. But I've analyzed why I wanted it, and it was because I wanted to prove that I could be a better parent than my parents. You know, it's because I felt so upset with how I was raised, and I felt so upset with the way my parents went about it, because they're both bad parents. Yeah. You know, they're both good people. They both love me, and they're both trying their best, but neither of them were good parents. And I had this weird like complex where I wanted to prove that I could be a better parent than my parents. And I still want that, you know, like I don't want that to be my primary motivation for having a child, or for adopting a child, or whatever happens in the future. But if I ever get to the point where that's something I want for different reasons, and you know, then that is certainly a motivating factor. That's certainly something that I want to do, is prove that I can be a better parent than my parent. And I feel like I've taken that same mindset for literally everything else in my life that my parents have affected me with. So, like, drinking is a thing, right? I like alcohol, so I'm not going to stop myself from drinking alcohol unless, of course, like, someone, a doctor is like, you're going to die if you drink alcohol. If you don't stop, then I'll stop, of course. But, like, I want, I like alcohol, so I'm going to drink it. But I want to prove that I can control myself, I want to prove that I can be better than my dad. That's kind of where my mind is. So in a way, even though my dad struggled with it, I feel empowered by being able to do it better, Yeah,
that's fair.
And that's kind of my thought process on the whole thing. I'm kind of owning it. I'm kind of taking it back as a thing,
Yeah, my thing is just like, I don't feel that need where I feel like I need to outdo the people above me in my life, Obviously, totally I've seen it happen. It's just like, I don't have that intense want where I intensely want to completely and utterly just like outdo my parents whenever it comes to that sort of stuff, I think that honestly I'm just okay with my sober mind is what it is at the end of the day. I'm comfortable with it. I like that I have such a high functioning and such a fast paced brain, and I don't feel like having something that affects that. Obviously, I've probably gotten so much secondhand and stuff, but it's never been like fully like,
I get you. Yeah, I mean, I might feel similarly if I didn't have the mental issues that I have, because I don't know. I suffer from brain fog all the time, and even during periods of time that I didn't smoke marijuana, so I know it's not because of that. For those of you listening that think it might be. All of the struggles that I have currently, I've had before I smoked marijuana, so that's not been a problem. But I don't know, there's like, I mean, and it doesn't change, I don't know how to word it, but I don't know. I'm exploring mental health stuff, and I'm getting those nootropic stuff to try to help me with some mental stuff, and hopefully HRT, when that happens, will help me a lot too, because I hear cases of a lot of people who have felt a lot better after getting that, like mentally and stuff. So hopefully that'll also be a case for me. But I mean, I totally get what you're saying, and you are totally valid.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here like, oh, am I supposed to want to drink? I'm pretty set in my ways whenever it comes to this sort of stuff. I've definitely had this conversation a million times over, and people have always asked me, why not? It's just like, it's just not for me. I'm not judgmental. Great. I'm not sitting here, like I said earlier, no moral superiority. I'm cool with who I am and what I do, and I don't see any reason to affect that in any way, because I want.
And you should always do what you want to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and like substance wise, especially, I don't think that's like something my morals will ever break, That's good. I've seen it happen badly to so many people. And, like, that, it doesn't mean that I'm scared of it either. It just means that it's just not who I am and not what I want to end up doing,
Yeah.
That's just generally my thoughts on substances. I think it's really sad that certain people feel like they need that sort of stuff. I'm sad. I'm really sad watching it happen to so many people.
Yeah. Like, the whole culture behind drinking because you're sad is hurtful.
Definitely.
It's sad.
You're never gonna drink your problems away. You're never gonna smoke your problems away. That's not how it works. I'm just like, overall just need that to be known. Like, that way of coping is just not how you should be trying to go about it.
In my experience, like, in the couple times that I've been high or drunk, like, sad, it doesn't help.
It's honestly
it doesn't
worse.
Make me happier. It makes me sadder.
Yeah.
It's a mood enhancer, It enhances whatever mood you're feeling. If you're feeling sad, you're going to feel sad. If you're feeling happy, you're going to feel more happy. But it's more of a mood enhancer than a mood lifter, I've noticed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. That's what I've also noticed that with just people in general. Whenever they end up drinking or smoking, like, they always, like, they're enhanced more in whatever mood they're feeling. Like, if they're feeling really fucking sad, they're fucking sad.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
It's like,
they might forget them being sad. They might forget because they black out or something, but
that's exactly what happens, is they end up being fucking sad, and then the next day you feel awful for it.
Yeah. I have still never gotten a hangover though. I've been very drunk and I've never gotten a hangover.
Yeah, I didn't get a hangover whenever I ended up drinking that one night. Obviously, probably didn't drink enough for a hangover, really.
Here's the tip, okay? If you drink a lot and don't want a hangover in the morning, make sure you drink a lot of water as well.
Yeah, that's a tip, right? I've heard a lot.
Don't wait until you're hungover to drink water. Mm-hmm. Drink water before you go to sleep, right? Because dehydration is the primary reason people get hangovers.
Absolutely.
And so, like, make sure if you are drinking for multiple hours throughout the night, then make sure you have a cup of water in between every shot, or in between every beer, or between every drink you have, right? Have a glass of water. And then before you go to bed, have a couple glasses of water. And make sure you're thoroughly hydrated before you go to bed. And then you'll wake up rested. I mean, I woke up rested both times that I got really, really drunk. You know, I started cleaning the house. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm up. I'm good. You know, because, you know, I stayed hydrated and I respected my body and stuff when I was doing it. I don't know. I think I'm pretty healthy with using substances. Which again is something that I work towards. I need that because that's kind of my way of showing that I can do this more than my dad could. Or,
it's whatever you want to do. Honestly, it's not something where you should feel swayed one way or the other. It's whatever you want to do. I think that's just like generally something people in general should do. It's like, don't do it because your friends are doing it. Do it because you feel like messing around with it, you know? And if you do feel like messing around with it, be responsible. Please don't put yourself in a bad situation. It's horrible. I've watched it. I've seen it. It's awful. Just in general with substances, make sure. That's all I'm saying is be responsible, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. Don't force yourself to like it because of the people around you. Just do what you want to do. It's just individuality, just like most things.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different people here. Like you can see on this podcast, Jay and I have, you know, like we agree in terms of like we agree, but we're in different positions in terms of what we do ourselves, right? So like if you're like Jay and don't want to drink or don't want to mess with substances,
don't force yourself to do it, right?
Then great, you should stick with that, you know. And if you change your mind, you're totally allowed to change your mind, but don't let other people change your mind, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It should be your decision. You are totally valid for not, if you don't want to get high, or you don't want to drink, or you don't want to mess with substances and stuff. Like that's great. That's good for you. Yeah, and don't feel forced to hang out with people who are high or drunk. However, you totally can and not drink and be high if you want to be a
it's not that I don't
driver.
Hang out with those people. It's just that I'm just not one of the people partaking. You know, like I've been in the middle of the smoke circle and just passed it to the next person, rather than hitting it myself. You know, obviously, probably you get a lot more of it than you think you do whenever you're in those situations.
You really don't. I mean, it's more of a contact high than actually the substance.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more of the psychological.
Contact high is a lot different than actual high.
Yeah, because it's not like secondhand marijuana is going to actually get you high at all. Like people smoking around you is not going to get you high. The reason that you feel in a more high state is because you're around high people interacting with high people. So your brain's like, oh, I'm going to mimic their behavior. Yeah. And you mimic the giggles and you mimic the things like that, and then you end up with.
But I wasn't even getting those giggles or anything in that situation. I was just kind of there. Yeah. But I've been in like plenty of hotbox cars and stuff like that. So like I've definitely felt that. Mm-hmm. It just kind of happens. It is what it is. High school kids do stuff like that. I was hanging out with college kids. They were doing shit like that. It just is what it is in the general state. More people than not end up doing stuff than not doing stuff, and that's okay. Like I'm not saying at all that they're horrible people for it. I'm just saying that that's just not me.
You all watching should be like Jay or like me.
Yeah, be whoever you want to be.
Either be like Jay and not do something if you don't want to, or be like me and do it, but
be responsible.
Take control of yourself. Be responsible. Mm-hmm. Don't let it be out of control.
Don't outdo it.
These are the two healthy approaches to substances, right?
Exactly.
Here.
Either don't do them or do them healthily. Don't do the option where you end up as a raging drunk or alcoholic or feel like you can't live without some sort of substance, because that's a horrible situation.
Not only is that a horrible situation for you, but it also puts people that you love and who love you.
It's horrible to watch. I've watched
situations.
It my whole life. I've seen people drink themselves to death. It's awful. Just try not to be that, please. I hate situations like that. It makes me really upset that people end up like that, because people deserve better in general, and I hope that they know that. Generally speaking, coping's a lot better, or even if it's not coping, if you're just doing it because it's fun, be doing it in moderation. Plus, even if you smoke, don't smoke every day, because then your tolerance gets really fucking high, and then it takes way too much for you to smoke for you to even feel it the way that you used to.
Also, don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, don't smoke cigarettes. Don't do tobacco.
Smoking cigarettes is stupid.
Don't do hard drugs. Don't.
And then, like, obviously, if you smoke cigarettes, that doesn't mean you're stupid, because obviously people can't control.
It's hard. It's impossible to quit those fuckers. I've seen it.
Oh, it's so hard to quit. But it's not, like, it doesn't even do anything for you, and it's so dangerous. Like,
it's like that buzz, that nicotine buzz. I know it's there because I've seen people with it. Like, you can get a buzz off of it.
The nicotine buzz, you can, but it's. I don't know. I don't understand why anybody would rather smoke a cigarette than a joint.
I think a lot of the time it's just like it's a lot more normalized, and they're around it a lot more throughout their whole lives. And like, you know, I remember a buddy of mine that I used to work with. The reason that he started smoking was because the boss would let people have smoke breaks, and if you didn't smoke, you didn't get that break. So if you smoked, you get that break. So a lot of people end up in that situation where they want that break more than anything, so they end up.
And there was a ton of advertisements about it back in
back in the day.
Century.
Fucking Slash from Guns N' Roses, huge fucking selling point. Huge fucking stars were sitting there on screen smoking, and people were like, "I want to be like that actor." Dude, my voice is fucked.
And also, like, the whole, like, age restriction on it, like, it was. Like, back in the, I don't exactly know the years behind it, but, back at some point in the 20th century, like, you could send your child to the corner store to pick you up a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, nowadays nowadays it's 21 or older nationwide. Yeah, my
parents were like
to
12
get cigarettes
whenever they started smoking and shit,
Yeah, and that's that's so bad. Yeah, don't do cigarettes. If you don't currently smoke cigarettes, don't start.
Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't vape. Vaping is worse, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's worse. I've had multiple thoughts about why it's worse. It's like it's worse because there's so much more in one of those pods. One of those pods is like a bunch of packs of cigarettes within one pod.
It's like tobacco wise, yeah.
Yeah, tobacco. It's
better for your lungs, but not.
No, the thing is, the reason that we're getting so much more lung cancer and stuff from vaping is because you can do it within a building. You don't have to go outside and do it and stuff.
Yeah, people do it more, and also the heavy metals and stuff. It's pretty bad.
It's awful. It's a horrible situation. It may seem harmless because it's like, oh, it's a pretty flavor if you're vaping, or oh, it's just a cigarette whenever you're smoking. But honestly, it affects you way harsher than you think it does. Your lungs are fucked. And like it's gonna be really hard to like end up breathing. Like if you run, if you do anything like that, it's really hard on you. Overall speaking, it's a horrible situation. Please don't do that. Appreciate it. We really been fucking preaching on this podcast today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a substance.
It's a good situation. Right? It's a good thing to talk about. I'm not at all complaining. It's just something I noticed.
Just generally be smart. Generally do your research. Generally, don't use substances if you would like, but don't do it if you'd like not to. Don't be susceptible to peer pressure. Use substances if you'd like, but do not abuse substances. There's a big difference between using and abusing.
Exactly. That's what. This is just a dare ad. Where the fuck is that shit? I just thought that was a really interesting thing because today, whenever I was out driving, that friend of mine, I was dropping them off and they were going to a party. And I was like, all right, whatever, just try to be safe, please. That's the last time I'm seeing them before they drive off to Florida, which is really weird to think about.
Oh, gosh.
Because those two friends of mine are moving down to Florida for college and stuff.
I'm glad you got to hang out with them today.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to see them before they go. I've had a really rocky relationship with them lately because of like substances and also just the way they've been acting lately. I've known them for years now, and it's just kind of weird that they're moving on. They're like a year above me, like grade level wise, and also just age wise. They're where I'm gonna be next year. age-wise.
Yeah.
And they're going to be gone, which is really weird to think about. And I'm really hoping they don't end up in this situation with like a bunch of substances and stuff down there, because it's way harsher down there in Florida, where they're going to be like in Orlando, and that's where scary shit happens.
Not a fan of Florida.
I'm not a fan of Florida either. But I like hearing about all these parties and stuff. It just has me thinking about it more. Like, not all the time. It's not constantly occupying my thoughts, but it's just on my mind whenever I started the podcast. So I thought it'd be an interesting topic of conversation. Obviously, it was. We could spend an hour and 10 minutes. I'm good at what I do, motherfuckers.
This is true.
Sorry, not sorry. I'm a god.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
No.
Sorry, not sorry. Sorry. Not sorry.
Not sorry.
Back in the day, Daddy would say, they kept making ugly faces and something, and you weren't careful, somebody would say that. I forgot the lyrics.
Yeah, I don't know the lyrics.
Watsky's song.
But yeah, I think that's just something good to throw at the audience for a second. It's just perspective, because I think I have a really good perspective on it all, because I've seen it all. But yeah, I'm such an old man. Back in my day.
Seen it all.
But you know, you do what you can, and just be healthy. You know, that's pretty much all you can do. I don't think there's anything else really to say on the subject.
Yeah, that's really it. We kind of wrapped it up.
Nice little bow there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, just be safe. Do things you want to do. Be safe.
Yeah,
live your life. Don't let other people live your life for you.
Individuality. Listen to Tyler, the Creator. He's great.
Be your own person. Believe what you believe, not what people tell you to believe. Do what you want to do, not what people tell you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom.
Dude, I've been on such a Tyler, the Creator kick lately. It's been wild.
I know nothing about Tyler, the Creator.
Tyler, the Creator's great. He's a rapper. He's from LA. Like, I don't think he's from LA. He's probably somewhere else in California. But he created all this cool stuff. He also is straight edge like me. He doesn't do any substances or anything. Like, he's a big rapper, and he's one of the only big rappers who doesn't do any substances, which are pretty cool. If you ask me.
Yeah.
I think that he preaches a lot of individuality and making sure that people actually like be themselves rather than going off of what everyone else is telling them to do, and that's just stuff that I definitely relate to a lot. I don't think that he's like the second coming of Christ or anything, but I think his music's pretty dope. I listened to his album on the way down to the competition on Thursday. Call Me If You Get Lost. It's a pretty good album. He's really raw on that. Like he definitely doesn't hold back whenever it comes to certain things.
I'll have to check it out.
Definitely. Definitely add that to the long list of artists is all I'm saying. I don't know what it is.
Speaking of rappers, and also bringing it back to something I mentioned earlier about Magic the Gathering. Did you know Post Malone likes and plays Magic the Gathering?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a fucking nerd. He's a fucking... Dude, that bitch has been a nerd this whole fucking time.
I mean, I watched... Okay, one of my favorite Magic the Gathering related YouTubers, and honestly one of my favorite YouTubers in general. I don't watch him too much because he doesn't post too much content, but Tolarian Community College, the professor from the YouTube channel, is fantastic. Tolarian Community College it's a Magic the Gathering reference because Tolarian University is a fictional university in Magic the Gathering lore, right? So Tolarian Community College is his Magic the Gathering channel. Mm-hmm. He used to be an English professor and quit to do a Magic the Gathering channel.
That's
and just does video essays about it. But he's like super leftist, super anti-racist, super like LGBTQ inclusive. Like he's just the nicest guy.
I still can't believe Post Malone of all people plays Magic.
Yeah, and he was on an episode of Command Zone with Post Malone, playing Commander Magic with the
I love it
with the professor.
Dude,
and these other YouTubers.
Like Post is like
and
Twitch streamed and stuff. Post is just a fucking vibe. I've seen him in like podcasts and stuff. He's such a fucking vibe.
It was so funny watching the professor interact with Post Malone because, like, the professor was doing a bit where he was talking about how people should go check out Post's music, but he's never listened to Post's music, so he had no idea what genre Post's music was.
I love Post's
so he was like,
go
check out Post Malone's music on iTunes is a thing still, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
Better
hip
Now
hop or country or something.
Top songs ever.
It was great. But yeah, I watched Post Malone play Magic the Gathering for a couple hours the other day.
I love him so much. Post Malone is an utter vibe. That song Better Now he released a few years ago is one of my top stream songs ever on Spotify. I found that out the other day, which I thought was pretty interesting. I remember being really into that song whenever it first came out.
I've been listening to so much 100 Gex on Spotify, and I've also been listening.
I still need to listen to more 100 Gex. I have not had time.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the next album. I mean, I love Me Me Me. It's a very good song. Their latest single, which I showed you. And I also love that.
I need to add that to my fucking playlist. That shit was fire.
You'll never really know, no, anything about
you saw me. I was
me,
fucking dancing in my room. It was great.
It's so good. And I love Lil Nas, and I love Dylan.
But generally speaking, music in general is my favorite thing in the entire world. I love it so much. There's no better feeling.
We've got... Look, I want to do this because I saw Trash Taste do this, and I want to steal their idea. We should do a 3x3 for music.
What do you mean?
Do you know how these work? We'll prepare it in advance for another podcast, right? But like a 3x3 is like, just like a grid with 9 boxes, right? And it's 3x3, like, right? Like the side of a Rubik's Cube, and you just put like, we can do songs, we can do artists, we can do albums, but like the 9, either your 9 favorite albums or like the 9 most important albums to you, or 9 most important artists or 9 most important songs, right? And like the central one can be the most important one, right? And everything else is just like equally important, like step behind.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should do songs, albums, or artists.
Fucking ever. That would take forever.
Yeah. Well, here's what we can do. I think we should do it, right? But not have a deadline. So just do it until you're comfortable with it.
I'd like to do it for artists, not albums, because there's too many albums.
Artists. Yeah, let's do it for artists. We'll do it for artists, and then whenever we're both done, we can do a podcast episode where we share, right? But
I'll work on that after we're done recording.
But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the next podcast. It can be in 5 weeks. But
I think that's enough for this week, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's it. This can be the shortest one so far, but I think it was productive.
I think. Well, the other one was an hour.
And it's also 12:40 in the morning.
Well, our other shortest episode was like an hour 21 or something. So
it's not that much shorter. Yeah, I think we should generally do longer than an hour, but this is fine. I think that should be it. I think a podcast should be longer than an hour, and I think that should just be.
Well, this is longer than an hour.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just mean in general. I think the only thing we should hold ourselves to is longer than an hour for a podcast.
Yeah, I just think that we should get to the end of the topic, which I think the topics that we throw out there can definitely go for longer than an hour. I think substance abuse can definitely be something that we could have probably strung along for longer if we really got into it.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a great episode.
My favorite part about this whole thing is I didn't make one crack cocaine joke this whole time.
And you ruined it. Anyways.
Anyway, we're never talking about my substance abuse, thankfully. That would be an issue, wouldn't it?
Yeah. This episode, Jay, was specifically talking about alcohol and marijuana. He does not do either of those two things.
However...
Did not say anything about other substances.
I don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah, in any case,
I love making crack cocaine jokes. Yeah, that was a really good conversation. I think that a lot of people can get a lot out of that. And if they can't, fuck off.
I like this. This podcast is great. We're having a lot of fun with this podcast.
This podcast is great.
All right. Well, I guess that being said, if you guys have watched / listened this far to the podcast, thank you guys so much. Make sure to let us know what you think about all this stuff. Maybe weigh in on this whole substance thing in the comments below if you want to, if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, you're welcome to leave a comment on the YouTube video, or, I don't know how reviews work on iTunes, but apparently you can write those. Also, rate us 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes if you enjoyed. If not, I don't know why you're still here, but if you're here, presumably you enjoyed, right? Because I don't know why you'd sit through an hour and 20 minutes of us talking if you didn't enjoy it, but I'm sure. Make sure to follow our podcast on whatever app you're using to listen to it, or subscribe to the channel on YouTube.
Pretty awesome.
Head over to our main channel on YouTube if you like our stuff and want to see more stuff that we do. We play some games over there and read Homestuck. Mostly play games. I think we're done with Homestuck pretty solidly now for quite a while. I
get to play video games now. That's sick.
We get to play video games. yeah, we got some stuff over there.
The second secret
join
boss
our Discord.
Is dead.
Yeah, our Discord. We've got a Discord in.
Anyway, Linktree is all I'm saying.
The bar. Yeah, link. Yeah, it's bio.link. It's not actually a link tree. It's a bio.link. bio.link/Ariah and Jay. Ariah.
Well, whatever you say, man. It's one of those things.
And also, we have a Patreon. Very special thanks to Kazam. Very special thanks to Kazam for being a Patreon supporter, a patron. And much love over there. If you are watching this, or if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on a podcast app, the next episode is available right now over on Patreon if you want to go join.
Wow.
No Holy pressure shit. To. We love all of you equally, and if you make the conscious decision whether you're just not able to or don't want to, in any case, support us on Patreon, then we love you anyways. Like, don't worry about it. Like, we just listening is perfect, a great support, and sharing around, liking, whatever you want to do. If you do have a little extra money and would like to support us financially on Patreon, then for $1 or more, we'll shout you out like I did Kazam at the end of every episode that comes out. That comes out to Patreon that we film while you're an active patron.
Give us money.
If you do want to spend $5 or more on us, then you do get an episode of this podcast a whole week early. Goes out on Monday on Patreon the week before it goes out on YouTube.
Such a fucking sellout.
That is an extra motivator.
Give us money.
But again, no pressure to. You totally don't have to. This is totally just an extra thing you would want to do. We'll never have exclusive content over on Patreon. Mm-hmm. So that being said, I thank you guys so much for watching or listening. I love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Have a great day, night, whatever time it is for you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Fuck off.